I said, okay, God, I did all the work. I need your help now.
I want to welcome you back again for another story answering the question, is God active? Today, I'm here with Julio, and he has got a story for us today.
Well, in 2008, Easter of 2008, I gave my life to Christ. I did my profession of faith with a series of events that happened before that led me up to that. Just had a breakdown and just felt like life wasn't, just not worth living for at that time. So I had to, submit, and I did. And so when I did do that, I just remember my wife saying to me, "Are you ready for what could happen?" And I said, "Well, yeah." She figures that Satan's going to come after me pretty hard. So, and I didn't realize that until things started happening. I always believed in God, but I never really walked with God. So, as a lot of us who struggle with that, right? So, what happened to me was I own a landscape company, and I had a few guys working for me, and I had a gentleman named Bill who worked for me, and he was about 65, and he wanted to retire that year. He was getting tired, and he had to go out to spray weeds for me, starting in Chilliwack all the way into Abbotsford, and to do all the weeds in the lawns. And there was probably about 8 or 9 buildings he had to do, and it was sunny. It was going to be hot for the next 2 weeks. I remember the stretch of weather. It was hot, and they put water restrictions out. I sent him out to do that, and then when he got back, I went to my shop and looked in the container out there, the spray container. He's gone home already, and Jacob, one of the young guys working for me, I asked him, "Was that what you guys use?" And he said yes, and my heart kind of dropped in a way because I thought, well, there was a little bit left in the container, and it looked a little light to me, and I thought, well, he couldn't have used Roundup because that would have been horrible. So trying to convince my mind that didn't happen, but I phoned Bill, and he assured me, "Oh yeah, don't worry. It's the last part of it. We use par 3. Don't worry." And okay.
So what does Roundup do, in case people don't know?
Well, Roundup will kill everything pretty much.
Okay,
yeah, grass, weeds, except horsetail. So
okay. And then par 3,
par 3 is it's a weed killer that you spray on for lawns, right? So, and I still like, "No, Bill, I think something's not right here." And he's like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry." And okay, I said, "Okay, fine." So. But something wasn't sitting well with me. And then Sunday after church, I told my wife we need to take a ride out to Chilliwack. So I want to just see what's going on. And as I drove out there, I just started seeing like patches of grass turning yellowish. And I'm like, oh no. And we're talking thousands of square feet. Like cow tires a kilometer long, right? And I'm like, but still trying to convince myself that it's not that. Okay, it's just, he maybe did spray for weeds and the grass is turning because the grass will stress a little bit when you do spray. And it could yellow off a little bit. But anyways, trying to convince myself that did not happen. And then I went out so the Monday I'm getting more nervous, and I went out there again, and I'm seeing it now really start to yellow off. And I'm like, I'm in trouble here. So I called all my customers, and I said, I don't want you guys to be concerned, because I think that, we sprayed the lawns, but I think I might have just knocked it back a little bit, right? I didn't tell them really that we used Roundup at that point, but I said, I'll take care of it. Anyways, I had a young guy just started with me, Justin. He just started with us. And I said to him, we need to gather like all the guys, and we have to get out there. We need to hit these lawns with we have to aerate, power rake, seed, fertilize, mulch. I said, we got to do this like now, tomorrow morning. So we gathered everybody together, and we just, for a day and a half, we just went at it. It cost me about $2,800 to buy all the seeds. And so the problem I have here is that once we were done, the weather's hot, and I'm like, can't turn on the sprinklers. And I'm like, oh no, I'm in trouble here. So I remember going back to Chilliwack and just standing along the sidewalk there, and people thought I was crazy probably. And I said, okay, God, I did all the work. I need your help now. You need to bring me like rain or something here. And my hair stands up because it's just so real to me. And I'm just sitting there praying, I've done all the work, please, do the rest. So I go home, and I'll never forget it. Me and my wife are laying in bed at about 11 o'clock at night. I start hearing rain. And then it just rained. And it rained for at least 5 days straight. And my wife's blown away. Heidi at Western Sod Farm that I called back and forth for advice on how I'm going to take care of this issue with the grass, because I've got a grass experience too, but I wanted second opinion. She was blown away because she's like, well, it was supposed to be sunny all week and hot. We're talking 28, 29. And I always like to go back and make sure I can pull up records because I know the fact it's there I know it's real, right? Anyways, it just rained and rained and rained, and the grass just started to grow. And within like 6 days, I think it was, the grass is like this long already. And it just came back so quickly. And customers are like, holy man, like this is like, how did this happen? Like the transformation was just crazy. But I have an issue, I have to deal with Bill. So I waited till Bill got back, and I told him we need to meet in Chilliwack, like 5 o'clock in the morning. I got to talk to you. And when we met out there, he came right to me and he says, yeah, I know. He says, I killed my own lawn. And I said, well, Bill, if you were me, what would you do? And he goes, well, I'd fire me. And I said, well, I don't want to fire you because I really like you. You've always been there for me. You've always been there when I needed help or sent me Bible verses at that time. You're a God-believing man. I said, why don't you just stay and see it through for me? Show the young guys that you could do this. He walked away to his truck and he came back with his keys that he had to my shop and his cell phone. He said, no, I quit. And I said, Bill, like, how can you quit? After all these years you're telling me, I said, I need your help. And he goes, no, I quit. And he just jumped in his truck and zipped off real fast. And I was pretty upset, but I had to keep moving on. My customers were important to me. It wasn't about the money at that time. It was about making sure they were doing what we said we're gonna do. Right. And then 5 years later, I got a phone call from Bill and wanted to come out and ask for forgiveness, and I did. But we stayed in contact right till he died, and we were friends to the end. So yeah, it was pretty neat story, because people will tell you it's just a coincidence, but no, those things are not coincidences.
Wow, wow. That's quite the story. I mean, we've been trying to do some grass around here, so we know it's easy to kill grass, hard to grow grass. Oh man, there's a text in the Bible, and it comes out of Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 3. And this is what the Bible says. It says, commit your actions to the Lord and your plans will succeed. Well, you might hear that and say, oh, okay, that's really easy. Oh, what I do is I just tell God what I want to do, and then it's going to happen. I'm just going to say, hey, I'm just committing this to you, and now everything I do and everything I touch is going to succeed. Well, it's a little bit different than that. In the sense of commit your actions to the Lord means when you work for God, when you're in this business, like Julio is like, hey, he's got all these customers, he's got this problem. And you're gonna actually treat people like you would treat yourself, which means you treat people amazingly. Like, we just want to run away from these problems, really, right? That's what we want to do inside. We get a problem, we want to run away. You got a problem at home, work, school, whatever, you want to run. But when we commit them to the Lord, it's like, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to actually do it unto the Lord. And then the plans succeed. Not always the way we think. I mean, this story that Julio told, like the grass growing and all this stuff in the water, those are miracles. Like rain coming when there's no rain supposed to come, right in the hot season. But God does these things because he wants to build our faith, and he wants us to realize that, hey, commit to me. Commit to excellence. Do all you can. And then let God do all he can. And then I want to invite you to join us next week as we continue answering the question, is God active? Thanks for watching today. If this episode has helped you see God in a new view and you're wondering where to start, I want to suggest reading Matthew chapter 5, 6, and 7. These 3 chapters will transform your life. And if they do, please share it with a friend and know that we are praying for you.